So the first match on this program was Brian Cage versus Adam Page. They have 2 cages, 1 page. Hopefully they won't hire that Nick Gage, the bank-addicted drug robber. But that match might be okay, except it never really... As soon as Adam Page is coming out onto the ramp, here comes Brian Cage and Team Taz, and they attack Adam Page. And they're kicking the shit out of him on the ramp. And then the Dork Order comes out to save him. And every single member of the Dork Order is guys either wearing nondescript street clothes and or nondescript masks and or guys with Roman numerals sharpied on their chests like the Wade Boggs Challenge at Always Sunny. And it's 10, I counted 10 guys and 4 referees having a sloppy brawl. Even Cole Cabana doesn't even stand out anymore because he was just dressed in street clothes, even though he's a full-grown man in the middle of the schmoz. You couldn't find him. And they're having this sloppy brawl where everybody's not really trying to fight. They're just trying to make some motion. And the referees suddenly separate all the extra people and get them to go back into their tubes. And at that point, Brian Cage power bombs Adam Page flat of his back on the ramp, the wooden ramp, then throws him in the ring, and the referee starts the match because Adam Page says to. He goes over there, you want to go? And Page says, yes, it's just a flesh wound. What the fuck? And when the referee goes to the babyface and asks if he wants to fight or if he wants to continue, it's because he's in the middle of a fucking championship match or an opportunity to get even with a hated rival, and he's bleeding or he's been injured and the referee's given him the option of quitting and he won't. Or if there's been an angle done and this is his championship match, but he's going into it with an injury, but he doesn't want to lose this one opportunity. But it's not guts, it's stupidity. If you get attacked by 5 people, powerbombed on a fucking wooden ramp, and thrown into the ring, why would you say, no, I'll fight on a goddamn TV match? Just a fucking TV. And why would the referee give you that option with you've already had 15 people in a fucking fight all around the ring, and now they've just all left, and you're going to start a fucking match from scratch? And I hate to say it, but the more I see of Cage, the more I see that he's exposed. He's a genetic freak, and obviously he's got the physique for it. He reminds me of Brackus in a way. Do you remember Brackus? That might pop you.
I remember. What was it? Achim Albrecht?
Achim Albrecht.
That's what it was.
A German bodybuilder who moved in a robotic fashion and was a wonderful person. And Cage beats the shit out of Adam Page and bounces him off the railings and gets all his shit in, body slams him on the floor. But he was going from move to move with robot face on, Cage was. And I don't know how that they fucking sold Adam Page on, okay, this guy is going to beat the fuck out of you before the match, beat the fuck out of you during the match, and then he's going to beat you. And I know they haven't given up on Adam Page. They're just smart enough to not realize that they've buried him. But Cage, again, hit him with everything he possibly could. He did that great suplex, vertical suplex over the top, the outside in. But it was just a 2 count and meant nothing. Page made a brief comeback on the floor. And then Page climbed to the top rope, and you know the moonsault he does off the top turnbuckle, right? To the floor on the guys in every match. It's usually a group of guys that can catch him. In this instance, obviously, he very well Cage can catch me, but he forgot about one thing. He makes a comeback on the floor on Cage, and then he just turns around and walks away from Cage and starts climbing up to the top. And if you go back and watch, Brian, he never looks behind him. And Cage, in the far shot, when Page is on the top rope, Cage is bent over The rail facing away from Adam Page is nowhere in the vicinity. But then when Page leaps without looking, suddenly Cage is right underneath him to catch him in the perfect position. So you see blatantly that Adam Page knew that he was going to be there to catch him because he was supposed to be. So he just like an idiot walked away from the guy he was fighting, climbed up on top of something 10 feet high, and without even turning his head, fucking did a backflip on a motherfucker that where he was, he wouldn't have hit. The guy had to move to get there to catch him. But this stuff ain't fake. It was rotten. And then Cage foiled a buckshot lariat, hit a power bomb, a buckle bomb, dropped him on his head with some kind of sloppy finish, and beat Page 1, 2, 3. So they finally decided to start giving Team Taz some credibility, but I'm just saying right now, Adam Page is a great talent who has been rendered meaningless and is adrift aimlessly in their booking and in their world. And Brian Cage is another one of these genetic marvels who mentally will not be able to get out of his own way and keep himself from getting over. Your thoughts?
Sick of the Dark Order. It feels like they're in multiple segments on every show. I was disappointed with the match. It wasn't exactly what I would have wanted, but what I would have wanted was for the guys to be different wrestlers. Now that I think about it, Brian Cage, like you said, it's just a lot of it's spots, trading spots or doing spots. This isn't just about Brian Cage, but I'm getting sick of the spot. Red Velvet does it. Other people do it, where the wrestler turns towards the camera, away from their opponent, to look at the camera and then do a standing moonsault on the person behind them. Sometimes they hit it. Most times they miss it. But what's the point of that? Just looking at the camera, waiting.
Brian Cage doing a standing moonsault is a lot stupider than a 125-pound girl doing a standing moonsault, but he's still an idiot for doing a standing moonsault. Just because you can cut your own ear off doesn't mean you're Van Gogh. It looks stupid coming from him. He's a fucking giant fucking bodybuilder. Why is he just going to do a standing moonsault?
Why doesn't he just start breakdancing while he's at it? When you want to show off your skills. They have blown it with Adam Page. When you really think back, and I know you're not a big Omega fan, naturally, but when Omega and Page were teaming up, there was a bit of anticipation about when they finally are going to turn on each other, and then eventually they broke up. They had that one match. Omega won. It set up everything with Omega that's going on now. Since that point, there's cooling someone off, and then there's the person's not even on the register anymore. They have really ruined it with Adam Page. They'll try to do something to get it back, but when you wait a year and that whole year has been him running around with a jobber group of idiots, what's the point? What have you done?
Taking him to get ice cream on his lawnmower.
They're always running out. How many segments in the last 3 or 4 weeks have we seen where all of a sudden just there's 10 members of the Dark Order running out there to help someone or protect someone or save someone?
Suddenly the gates of Lilliput just open, and it's just flooded with these frantic, masked, numbered creatures wandering around. Anyway,